This video was sponsored by the World Caregiver Network. For more information, visit www.worldcaregivernetwork.com.
Hello everyone, this is Charles F. Gray, Tori Charles. You may be watching this on my Charles F. Gray channel, or you may be watching it on my Gray Necropolis channel. But either way, I'm happy you're here. We're kind of in the upstairs movie collection, and what I'm going to talk about right now is my early experiences as a kid renting movies. And the movies came out in, of course, let's do this, VHS. Here we go. Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, yes, there were Betamax. You guys know all about that. Yes, it's true. It's true. I knew actually a friend of mine who had a Betamax machine. Anyway, what's going on? We got a lot of stuff going on here. But anyways, where can we go with this, basically? It's funny, whenever I film, sometimes I really don't like move things around. So I'll be like, oh, there's a rag here. What the hell is that doing there? Why is this here? You know, it's like, whatever. This is really how it is. I got to get more bookcases, folks. Shit. I don't know. I just love this stuff. I just dig it. Anyways, I'm going to go back to the, I'm going to go back to the 80s. So when people would have a VHS machine, that was a big fucking deal. This was not like, I can get it for $40 at the store, this and that. This was a big deal. Most people didn't have them. Now, the first VHS machines that came out for VHS were the top loaders where it'd go punk, and you put your tape in and go punk. And they were actually fucking heavy-duty machines, man. They were pretty kick-ass, actually. They were pretty decent. And you could actually record audio, but use the video coming in from the TV. So back in the day, we made some pretty funny joke videos. I actually have a couple. I may make public at some point. I have to transfer it over to digital. But anyways, that's in the teenage years. But a friend of mine had an older VCR. But back in the day, I go to my friend's place. His name's Jim, basically. Not the Jim that you guys know, but a different Jim. The first Jim that I knew, I guess. And I go over there and I see The Empire Strikes Back on his television. I'm like, holy shit. Like, I'm seeing this and I'm like, how do you have a movie on here? Oh, I rented. I'm like, rented it? What? I'm like, what's this? Oh, it's a VCR. It plays these movies. I'm like, holy shit. Wow. So he was one of the first people I knew who actually had a video cassette recorder. Another friend of mine, Manuel, we called him Manuel because we couldn't really pronounce his name properly. And his parents basically had bought a VCR as well, basically. So anyways, let's see here. How far will we go back here? First we're going to start in elementary school. So we would go and rent movies. Literally. Manuel, myself, Manuel's cousin Alfredo. Yeah, that was kind of the group of us who would rent movies. Because my parents, we didn't have a VCR yet. I think Manuel was the first person I knew to have one. I'm not sure. So we would go. He'd be like, "Yeah, let's go rent a movie or whatever," and so on and so forth. And all this stuff kind of bleeds over because it's like I knew Jim at the same time. So Jim was probably the first person that I knew of having a VCR, but we wouldn't rent movies together until like junior high school. But in elementary school, Manuel had a VCR. But it all kind of mixes all in there, kind of thing. But anyways, it doesn't matter. Whatever. Who had the VCR first? Who cares, right? So anyways, we would go to this movie place, which was like 3 blocks away, and this place now is what the fuck is it now? It used to be a video rental store. Then it became an arcade. And then it became cafe and became a bunch of things. So we would go there and we would pick out the titles. Now, when you go into a place that rent, a video store, literally it's a bunch of shelves basically. You generally speaking, they're white, but it could be any color, and they're actually specifically made for VHS tapes. It wouldn't be as deep as these bookcases. They'd be kind of this deep, right? This deep here, but. So anyways, you'd go and you'd be like, oh, okay, there's this, okay. And as a kid, you could rent any movie in there. Friday the 13th, fucking Return of the Living Dead, although you're getting in 84 now. You could rent fucking, what is that one? What was that very cool one? There's so many. Dawn of the Dead, you could, there's so many different ones that you could actually rent, basically. We would rent the slasher films for the most part because that's really what was available. My introduction to Dawn of the Dead happened at my friend Tim's place, but that was later on. Again, all these events are kind of intertwined. When it's so long ago, your memories kind of, instead of saying this happened here, they kind of they go like this, basically. That's what your memory is like for like really old events from childhood. It's all kind of intertwined, and which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Or which came first, VHS or Betamax, right? Same type of thing. And a lot of you know which came first, of course, on that. So anyways, I don't want to ramble here, but anyways, we would go in and Manuel and I, we'd go and rent, because he was a main person at the time that, we would, in my neighborhood that I hung out with, that we would rent these movies, and we'd always watch them at his place. And his parents had a pretty big, the wood grain TV and all that. But anyways, we'll get to that in a sec. So we would go there and be Friday the 13th. That one movie, which actually I do have on Blu-ray now, I can't remember it, but it's like zombies that you're in a movie, but they come through the TV. Video Dead. Yeah, Video Dead was one of the titles. That was awesome. I have that on Blu-ray now. And we would rent all these movies. They're mostly horror movies. And and they would not stop you. And you'd get these movies home and you'd play them and be like, holy shit, there's a woman's breast there. There's this. There was nudity in these things. And major gore, right? And the movie plays, there was no rules. It'd be like, you'd come in, you're 10 years old, and it'd be like, yeah, Friday the 13th, The Evil Dead, Video Dead, Dawn of the Dead, what have you. And they'll be like, yeah, okay, just take your money. And I remember it was $1 a movie to rent these things. $1 a movie. And it was fucking awesome. We'd watch these things. But there was a place in the video store that was like off limits. That's where they would draw the line. And you guys know what I'm talking about. It is a place with the saloon doors. Jamie, the Purple Pill, Lycan Theory, you missed out on this. I don't know if you've ever been to a video. I think you missed out on this. As you're playing, I'm playing my Super NES. I'm playing Super Mario on my Super NES. I think you missed out on this. But there was a place where you go in and it's a saloon doors. It's like a walk-in closet, and there are actually saloon doors like from the Wild West. And you push them and they creak and you go in there. Well, that's where you can't go because you're in the video store. What's this section? And then you go to walk there and you're going to push the door. And they're like, oh no, you can't go in there. That's 18 and older. Oh, okay. That's adults only, right? And then you go in there, or if you could kind of peek in there, they would have the shelves of the, obviously the pornographic movies. And that was like, you're a kid like, holy fuck, right? But anyways, like, no, they made sure you couldn't rent those. But it was just, I'm telling you, video stores in general, it was such a magical time. And people be like, all right, just go to Netflix and I click this and social media said the Joker is going to be a real wing-dinger. I'm going to watch that. No, I wasn't born in the 1920s. So anyways, because the idea about a video store is this. You would discover movies you wouldn't normally watch. I'm going to tell you this. You'd be like, oh, okay, let's see here. I'll try to pick a cool one. But let's pretend I don't know the movie or whatever. You're just like, trying to find something older here that I didn't show you guys already. Son of a gun. Fuck, I can't. Okay. Let me find something cool here. Okay, fuck it, The Godfather. That would be back in. So you find this and you're like, oh, okay. Godfather, you're like, alright. Then you get it home and you watch it. It's a fucking kick-ass movie, but, you know. There's a lot of movies or obscure movies that you would find that are... Where's that movie? Exterminate... Where is it? Oh, it's such a corny movie, too. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can find it. Hold on. Alright, so this is the one that, you know, you'd see something like this. And the cyborg guy, and then you'd be like, whoa, what's this? And it's some, like, B-budget movie, The Eliminators. This is one of the movies that we rented back in the day, right? And this is from... This is fucking from the early 80s, I know that. Anyways, whatever, I'm not going to hunt it down. But anyways, The Eliminators. Wow! Whoa! Cineplex Odeon, The Eliminators. Wow! Ah, that's fucking weird. Okay. So anyways, you would discover stuff like that. And the artwork would be cool and stuff. You never heard of the movie, but the artwork might be cool, or the title might be cool, and you rent it and you get home like, yeah, this is fucking cool. Yeah, there were duds in there, but you would discover movies that you wouldn't normally even look at or consider because you're there and you're like, oh, what do you want to run? Oh, this looks cool. Oh, Exterminators, that looks cool. I had never heard of this movie, and then you rent it and you have it, you know, you enjoy it. And I think a lot of that's lost now with streaming media and stuff like this, because without the video stores, you're just clicking nope, nope, and you have such a selection, like nope, 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 nope. Whereas in a video store, they have a certain amount of movies, and they got the new releases, so on and so forth, and they got the older stuff, and you don't have the selection, so you're like, oh, okay, these movies are out. Oh, I'll try this. You can discover a lot of stuff. It's the same idea behind a record store. But anyways, it was a really cool, magical time. And I would say it's a shame that video stores don't exist anymore. I mean, I understand why they're not commercially viable as a business. But it's a shame, basically, because the idea is so fucking awesome, going into a place and discovering treasure like the Eliminators, like discovering this. Just freaking great stuff. Man, great memories. But anyways, folks, if you missed out on that era, fuck. Go to a reuse center. Go to a recycle center. Probably get tons of VHS for free and check it out. You will discover movies that you had never even heard of. You're like, wow, this is fucking kick-ass. Darren Beedman knows what I'm talking about. MGTOW is the only way to live. He knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a thing of discovery, I guess, which is very cool. And it was only $1 to rent them. Like a buck. Like, whoop-de-doo, right? Anyways, what can I say? This is Charles F. Gray, Atari Charles over and out. And I do want to mention just really briefly, locally, there is one video store left. There used to be other ones, believe it or not, up to 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. Maybe even up to like 2012. But there's one last video store in I'm in Edmonton, in the entire city. And I can't remember the name of it, but they deal specifically with horror titles, and they are on White Ave. He's a last holdout, man. I don't think he has VHS, but he has DVD and Blu-ray, and he's the last holdout. I tell you, great times, folks. Check them out, and if I can find the link, I'll put it in the video description below. Take care, and cheers, and Eliminators. Classic, straight-to-video movie. Take care. See ya.
This video was sponsored by the World Caregiver Network. For more information, visit www.worldcaregivernetwork.com.